From Rentschler Field in East Hartford, Connecticut, welcome to Bullseye inside UB Athletics. I'm Paul Peck with Jim Kubiak here on the field following the Bulls' 24-17 loss to the UConn Huskies. Jim, a game in which they trailed 24-7, fought their way back and gave themselves a chance to tie it on their last possession of the game. It comes up short, but Jeff Quinn pointed out how much he liked their fight in this game. What did you think about their fight?
Valiant effort. They came in on the road against a really good defensive football team, and they fought their way back in the third quarter from being down 24-7, and they had a chance on the last possession to tie the football game, so a lot to be proud of.
Well, let's get some of the post-game reaction. While Jeff Quinn liked the fight, the Bulls players were not satisfied with what you could call a moral victory. They weren't happy. They didn't win this game. Let's get the locker room reaction from Jeff Quinn and the Bulls players.
Our football team today went on the road and played extremely hard with tremendous effort against a very good football team in UConn. And I couldn't be more proud of that football team in that locker room.
Now Murray going to go in motion, and Murray's going to get the handoff. Sweep to the left. Murray at the 20. At the 25, brought down shy of the 30. First down yardage on the sweep to Brandon Murray.
And I think Brandon Murray and Devin Campbell, I mean, just they stepped in, stepped up, and I think all week long, they understood, their role and responsibility and picking up the slack without Bo. We didn't have Bo today. We didn't have Potts, we didn't have Boomer, we didn't have Fred Lee. We had four key players on the offensive side of the ball.
I don't really consider myself a freshman anymore. I consider, myself a football player, and, I knew I had to step up when Bo went down, and, I just came out and did what I can do. Me and Mary both, we just did what we can do.
When Bo was out, just kind of for them to feel threatened by both of our speeds, me coming across like that, it's just, we're kind of like a little gruesome twosome, so we'd like to see a lot more of that.
We're happy that we didn't quit. I mean, that's a great thing, and we know that about our team. We're not going to quit, and we're not going to quit now. We know what we have ahead of us, and we know that we have a lot of season left.
Shotgun for Alex Zordich. He's going to throws it across the middle, caught by Rudy Johnson. First down yardage for the Bulls. Rudy's still going. Broke off a one tackle, finally hauled down at the 40-yard line.
And then you look at, a guy like, Lee Skinner, who had an all-time high in tackles. I mean, he was all over the place.
We did show, we don't have a whole lot of quit, but I think that's something we knew. We're playing out there hard. You see our guys fighting.
We're just going to keep working. We're just going to keep working because we know we are capable of doing, and we have faith in everybody on this team, coaching staff, players. We have a goal, and we're going to work to achieve it.
There's nothing I could say to them that's going to make them feel any better, because we came down here to win a football game, and it didn't happen. But there's a lot of positives, a lot of things that I could take from it with this team and our coaching staff to know that we're doing things the right way, and we'll get those opportunities, and we'll get this thing will work our way, somewhere down the road, and it's got to be next week.
Back at Rentschler Field after the Bulls' 24-17 loss to the UConn Huskies, joined again by Bulls radio color analyst Jim Kubiak. Let's follow up a little bit of the point that you and Jeff Quinn made about the fight that this team showed. They're down 24-17. They're struggling. Alex Zordich is trying to get the offense going. What really kind of got the offense going, and I think got Zordich into a comfort zone, was his running. How important is a quarterback who can run like that to sort of do that to start getting the passing game going?
Well, it's critical, and coming into this game without Brandon Oliver, we knew that Alex Zordich had to step up and become a running threat, and he had done that in the first 2 weeks, and I thought he did a great job. I think he had about 80 yards rushing, and he was a catalyst. And, and part of this offensive success, especially when you're playing a lot of man coverage like they faced today, is the quarterback running the football when things break down. He did a really nice job.
This was a team in Connecticut that was giving up under 60 yards rushing per game, under 2 yards rushing per carry, but between the Zordich runs and the play of Oliver's replacements, Devin Campbell and Brandon Murray, Bulls were able to do some things on the ground. As a whole, we look at the running game as a whole amongst those three guys, I think there's some satisfaction that the Bulls can take from this one.
And coming in against Connecticut, who has given up under 60 yards per game rushing, the fifth in the country, they did a great job. 150 yards rushing between those three guys, and a nice package for both Campbell and Murray. And then you sprinkle in a little Alex Zordich, and I thought it was very, very effective.
Speaking with the offense, keeping on the offense, we saw Jeff Quinn get very aggressive overall in this game. The hook and ladder play, one of the classic plays in UB football history. You just don't see that work very often. That was an awfully fun play to watch. The throw to Nooch, the flip up to Murray, and Murray does the rest to take it for the touchdown.
He went into the bag of tricks. He even a little onside kick in the first half, and then he comes back with a tunnel screen that winds up being a hook and ladder, and Brandon Murray finishes it off, and that was a big touchdown for Buffalo. Got him back in the football game.
Well, let's flip around to the Buffalo defense. Still at times struggling, gave up that one long drive to Connecticut that winds up being pretty key in this game, but they wind up with 3 sacks in the game. Khalil Mack with another 3.5 tackles for loss puts him within 4.5 of the all-time school record for tackles for loss. I think we, again, continue to see signs that the Buffalo defense is notching itself even better week after week. Is that what you saw in this game?
I did, and in 17 sacks in 4 games. That's a lot of sacks. That's more sacks than Buffalo had all last year, so this is a really good defense. I think they have good football players, and take nothing away from Connecticut. They made some big plays on third down that really kept drives alive and got them points. So I think Buffalo, very sound defensively. I know everybody wants some more turnovers, and they're going to come. If they keep playing the way they're playing, they're going to come.
Well, while the Bulls players weren't satisfied with the loss in this one and wouldn't accept a moral victory, are there positives that a team can take from a game like this, particularly as you move back into the Mid-American Conference schedule with next week's game against Ohio?
Absolutely, and you look at what Buffalo did on the week 1 and week 2, and then week 3 against Kent State was a letdown. I think everybody felt that, but what a bounce back. They come back in hostile territory against a really good Big East opponent, a great defensive football team, and they did some really nice things without their best player in Brandon Oliver. So I think there's a lot of good things to take from this, and they just have to keep chipping away, Paul. That's the name of this game. Keep chipping away, and good things are going to happen.
Well, I'm excited for the next game against the Ohio Bobcats. Ohio has been the story of the Mid-American Conference all season long. They were great last year. They're the preseason favorites to win it this year. Here go the Bulls out to Athens, Ohio to take them on. UB beat the Ohio Bobcats last year. That has to be something that they'll think an awful lot about heading into this game.
I think there's belief in this team, and when you look at the guys in the locker room and the leadership in the locker room, these guys believe that they can win football games, and I think that we're going to see this better UB team as they need to continue to improve, and when they get those turnovers, they're going to have opportunities to win.
Yeah, it should be a fun game. It's the next one for the Buffalo Bulls on the road at Peden Stadium in Athens, Ohio. The Bulls and the Bobcats Saturday at noon.
In their first home game back at the Rent after being on the road for 2 weeks, the Huskies didn't disappoint, beating the Buffalo Bulls 24-17 in a game that wasn't as close as the scoreboard suggested.
Coming out with a lot of focus and energy, and Coach talked about it all week, and I feel like they got a couple plays here and there, but I feel like we took it to them today.
I think as an offense, we didn't put the game away. They got a couple scores late. They put them back into it with that lateral. But as an offense, we got to do a better job finishing out games.
In the very first play of the second quarter, Chandler Whitmer found Ryan Griffin for a 36-yard touchdown to put the Huskies up 10-7.
We were talking about it all week, and the middle opened up for me, and I just saw green grass, and then I was in the end zone next thing I know.
Oh, I definitely got the offense rolling at first. I mean, I don't think we have any turnovers today, and after I made a block and I just saw him catch it, I knew he was going to score a touchdown on it.
Feels good to get a piece of the action, Coaches showed confidence in us, and we proved it on the field that we can catch the ball and we can block, so it feels good.
That was huge because it gave us momentum for the rest of the game, and congratulations to Griff and Chandler making a good throw.
Kind of got the ball rolling there, and we felt confident going to the rest of the second quarter and the second half.
Running back Martin Hippolyte kept the momentum going with a 50-yard touchdown run on third down to give the Huskies a 10-point lead.
It was very special to me because it was my first career touchdown, and the blocking was just perfect. Lyle had a nice block on the outside, and we've been practicing it all week, so I knew it was going to work. I knew it was going to hit for something, but I didn't know it was going to be a long touchdown like that.
That had everybody on the sideline excited, not just me. Everybody on the sideline was hyped about Martin. Congratulations to him.
He gets a couple plays a game, and it's great to see these guys are not taking them for granted. He's getting in there and doing his part. It's great to see him get in the end zone.
With 5 minutes to go in the third, the Huskies got the insurance they needed with a Lyle McCombs 2-yard touchdown run and a 24-17 lead.
We were in Wildcat, so Scotty was in there, and we just had to punch it in. I feel like that was the game for us, and we felt confident in our O-line. We could get some push, and we got in the end zone.
The defense played gritty and took care of business when they needed to, accented by a Tymir Brown pick on the Buffalo 25-yard line.
It was the first one of the year, so it felt good. But I mean, I seen the quarterback drop back and looking that way, so I drifted a little bit, and he threw it up, so I made a play.
The defense is always impressive. I mean, a lot of people were playing hurt and, not feeling up to 100%, and they always come out and they always show out, so I wasn't surprised at all what they did.
I love watching our defense play, because you never know what's going to happen next with turnovers and lost yardage plays. So it was a great pick and lifted us up as a team.
I felt like we were dominating the game, but we definitely have a lot of stuff to pick up because, I mean, just as easy as we were dominating, they could have been right back into the game. So we have a lot of stuff to clean up in practice this week.
Next up, the Huskies will travel to Rutgers as they open Big East play Saturday, October 6th at noon. Reporting from Rentschler Field, this is Emily Noonan for Huskies All Access.